We continue learning Kitzur Yomi, and we begin the 8th perek, or the 8th Siman in Kitzur, and this is going to be quite a, for some, an emotionally charged perek, as we'll see very shortly. Says the Kitzur, Sival of Mishalam Shachar, when the first light of dawn becomes Shu'ar Anoitzis Min Hashem Mizrach, which is the light of the sun that rises at east. What happens at that moment? Kivan, since that is the earliest time one is allowed to daven. This is what we refer to as Amud HaShachar. She'im Ismail Az B'diavad Yatz. Of course, Amud HaShachar is not Lechatzchila. Lechatzchila is later at Nitzachah. But if you daven, then it works. L'chein. Therefore, it's considered the Zman HaTfilah. You're not allowed to begin any work, or deal with any of your needs, or go on a trip, before you daven. Sedek is utfila. Shematzik lebarai. You declare the righteous to Hashem. So we begin with Sif Aleph teaching us that you're not allowed to do Darkei Chavsai when the Zman Tefillah begins. Let's be precise. Which means you might be davening at 8 o'clock in the morning. But from Amud HaShachar, since you could daven, you're not allowed to at that moment be busy with your Darkei Chavsai, your own personal endeavors. And from there we segue immediately into Sif Beis. And we continue with Sif Beis, says the Kitzur. So one is not allowed to eat or drink before davening. Shenemar, says the pasuk, and at the bottom they quote the Mishnah Berurah, can be more than the size of a beya for a half hour before the Zman begins. Shenemar, says the pasuk, lo yisoichlu al adam. Says the Torah, you cannot eat upon the blood, which means you're not allowed to eat before you daven for your physical well-being. If you eat and drink and only afterwards daven, Allah says the pasuk, says Hashem, you've thrown me away after your gaiva, after your bodily functions, and al tikri gavecha elo geyecha, your arrogance, that by tending to your own needs before you tend to Hashem's needs, before you daven, is gaiva. Amar Kadosh Baruch Hu, lachash etkaz, after this person shows arrogance that he sits and he eats, kibul avomach shamayim, then you want to come and now you're accepting Hashem as your king. V'afiu lishtois kavel item sukkar v'chol of us. Says the Mishnah Berurah, even to have sugar and coffee with your milk, sugar and milk with your coffee is forbidden. And the reason it explains at the bottom here so eloquently, because that's called an extra indulgence. The bottom they also quote Aruch Shulchan that milk and sugar is generally allowed, and we'll say that the litmus test is this a chush of a drink that it could be called gaiva, could be called arrogance? A regular cup of coffee, sugar, and milk, I don't think nowadays we call it arrogance. Maybe a fancy caramel latte, maybe some fancy drink, maybe, yeah. But the point is, that is how we learn what is or is not allowed. Someone who's old and weak, he cannot wait to eat. Certainly in Shabbos and Yontif, that someone who's old and weak cannot wait to eat. It's better to do what? And this really answers the fallacy that people say, but I can't wait. So you know what the Kitzur says if you can't wait? Okay, no problem. You can't wait? No, you should do daven shachris at ease in your house, and then v'yikadesh make kiddush v'yochel davar and eat, and then then go to shul v'yichavin libo yimatzibor v'tfilah shachris, and then follow along with shachris v'yizalach imam mosef then daven mosef v'layishtek avim zogach. It's better to do that, to daven b'yechidos, and then to drink coffee, sugar, and the like, without being accepting upon yourself. We see the extreme nature that this halacha takes on. Continues the Kitzur. If it's for a health reason, because that is not called gaiva. L'chein, therefore, I mean by yechos l'chavin daita b'tefillah, if you can't have kavana, p'liachil shtiyah yirtzeh, yachol lechav lishas kodem atefillah. If you mamish can't have kavana, then you're allowed to eat and drink. And I guess the answer is one has to just be honest. One says, "Oh, I can't do it." You have to ask yourself, can you really not do it? Maybe you have to push yourself a little more. Sometimes just having simple water before one davens might be enough. You don't have to actually eat. And obviously, each level is a level less gaiva. Even if it's the middle of the night, even if it's achatzais, you're not allowed to taste anything before you daven. And that is the right thing to do. If you're very weak, continue with Sif Dalin. Mayim v'cheitel coffee below sikah chalav, water, tea, and coffee without sugar and milk. Much delicious because I'm allowed to drink before davening. And that's really the line that one has to keep in mind, that a very simple drink, water, a basic coffee and tea, is allowed because that's not called gaiva. So I might say, wait, on Shabbos and Yom Tov you have to make kiddush. So you have another problem. No, much as the Torah really couldn't feel how to drink these items. We don't have to make kiddush. Why? Because before davening you can't make kiddush yet. So it's a catch-22, and therefore you don't have a chiyuv to say kiddush, and therefore basic drinks is allowed before one davens. And we continue with Sivhei, that the Kitzur continues with practices that are forbidden. Also, when not allowed to go to the door of a friend, the kabbalah upon of litin leishal, to go and give him shalom and feel lomer leisaver the maratava, and even to tell him I go to Morgan is aser shenemar. With what do you show respect? You go to someone else's kavod before Hashem's kavod. But the Kitzur continues and he modifies his halacha, which is obvious if you understand the reasoning. You didn't go to see your friend, you bumped into him. On the way into shul, you bump into a friend, you're allowed to say good morning. And the Shanas Bolshani should change your language. You should keep in your mind. You're not allowed to do it, but you want to remind yourself. You didn't daven, you have to keep that on your mind, so someone change the way they say good morning to be cognizant that they have to go daven still. We'll pick it up from Sivav V'siyata Dishmaya.